What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York calling from the quarantine zone again, and this time we are here with Terry of Scar of the Sun. Thank you so much for being here, man. It's great to have you here.
Great to see you, Alex.
Yeah, thank you so much again for your time. So we got Inertia coming out May 14th. Is How was the overall making of this album? Was there kind of like a preconceived idea? Were you trying to maybe continue in the vein of what we heard off of an album such as In Flood, for example? How did Inertia sort of come to be?
Um, if you ask me, Inertia is quite different to in regards, to how In Flood was. Not only the vocals are different, are more extreme on this album, but also the music is more heavy, more aggressive, more direct, less complex, and more focused. That's my opinion, at least.
Mhm.
This is something that occurred naturally. It wasn't a plan, to go like that. We always follow our heart and we just play what we like to listen from other bands, but also by our own band. This album was composed mainly after the release of In Flood, and it was recorded also around the time before the pandemic, the whole pandemic thing. So it was ready in 2019, but it took some time in order to find a better record deal to release it, because we just felt that we were ready to do the next step and get signed to a label that has more power and they can do more stuff about us. Overall, as I said, I think it's a step forward. But obviously, what I say is just my opinion and my point of view, and each person has its own opinion, and I respect whatever anyone thinks about it.
Definitely. Definitely. Do you feel that the first singles that you release off of this album, Inertia and I Am the Circle, are maybe a good representation of what the entirety of Inertia will sound like, or is that, or just those the first two tastes, the first pieces of the puzzle?
I would say that especially I Am the Circle is closer to the overall spirit of Inertia. Um, the song Inertia has direct influences from the Swedish death metal sound. We are huge fans of Swedish death metal, but we are also huge fans of metalcore. And I would say that overall, this album is closer to metalcore, not direct metalcore, but has a lot of metalcore elements. And in my opinion, um, I Am the Circle is more a metalcore piece, of music. So I would say that this song and the next video that will come next week, Transition to Turbulence, is called, are more representative. But we also like the song Inertia very much, and the reason why we chose this one to be one of the singles is because for those that know Scar of the Sun from the previous albums, Inertia, the song Inertia is definitely a surprise attack, because they don't expect us that to be that heavy and that aggressive. We used to be more mellow in the past and more progressive, and this song is like a punch. So we just wanted to surprise people, and listen something that they probably never expected from us.
Well,
It's
you
not that it's completely strange to the rest of the album, but I think that I Am the Circle is more represented.
You mentioned like the Swedish death metal and the metalcore. Now, those are actually my two favorite subgenres of heavy metal in general. Like, I love At the Gates, I love In Flames and The Haunted and Soilwork. But then, having the metalcore classics, because when I hear the riffs in I Am the Circle, like, I'm instantly thinking of like, Kill Switch Engage, All That Remains, Unearthed, Shadows Fall. Like, but what's funny is I like having this discussion because what is exactly metalcore in a way? Because a lot of people say it's music that has singing and screaming in it, but I mean, I would never call Opeth metalcore or Fear Factory metalcore. So, like, to you,
Yeah,
what
true.
makes something more in the vein of metalcore?
To me, metalcore is the American version of Swedish death metal, if you want.
Oh wow.
Uh, I find many similarities in these two kinds of metal. And what I like in metalcore is that it probably took the elements from Swedish death metal and it added more mainstream vocals or mainstream melodies in it. Because metalcore, it's not about screaming only, it's the melodic parts, the melodic vocals that made it more accessible to the masses. And that's why it's more popular than metalcore, especially in America, which obviously is the main country that produces metalcore. So when I first listened to such bands, directly the first thing I thought was Swedish death metal, but with the more melodic vocals and the more mainstream approach to it. And I really like this thing from the American bands. The vocal lines, I'm going nuts for melodic lines of the American metal bands, but not only metal bands from America, but also from more alternative bands like Paramore or Blink 182, if you want. There's something in America that the vocal lines are so nice. I don't know why. To me, it's a huge influence. So yeah, I mean, these two kinds of metal are definitely our main influences, and the third kind of metal that is part of our sound is gent, which is British.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because obviously there's no denying the melodic death metal influences from Sweden into the metalcore movement. I mean, it's the combination of hardcore combined with Swedish melodic
Yeah.
death metal. So like these hybrid elements, I definitely think are reminiscent in your sound. But I think Scar of the Sun really has its own unique flavor on it. I think people who like Dark Tranquility or At the Gates, like I could see you do a tour like Dark Tranquility or At the Gates, or maybe a band like Septic Flesh or something like that. I could see you do a tour like Unearth or maybe Hatebreed, but I could also easily see you do a tour with a Morbid Angel or a Cannibal Corpse. I could see you do a tour with maybe like a Satyricon or a Behemoth. I think you have a sound that goes on multiple layers of pure heaviness.
That is very nice to hear, and thank you very much. To me, this is very important because we don't want to limit ourselves, and we want to reach out to as many people as possible, but in a positive way. The same thing that you said was the first thing that our booking agent said when he listened to our new album. He said that I can match you guys with many different bands, from extreme metal to gothic metal, and all the genres in between. So I really like that because I never wanted our music to be limited to a small percentage of people. I always wanted the music we make to be accessible to more people. And the reason why I want that is that all the songs that I was always connected was the songs that the melodies and the choruses were sticking into my mind, and they were always making me to want to listen to them again and again and sing the choruses. So that's what I try to do. I'm trying to make memorable choruses and melodies that stick to your mind, and they are easy for you to sing. So I think that the music we make is easy for many people to access it.
Absolutely. As a vocalist, have you always needed to hear the music to come up with lyrics, or has there ever been a time where maybe like a lyrical concept or a lyrical idea could influence the direction of the music?
um Well, on the first album, which is a little bit different to the last two albums, to be honest, the lyrics, in a way, led the way for the music. The first album is more close to the European Gothic metal scene, so. The whole lyrical concept that was the main concept, because I'm not talking only about one subject, had to do with personal loss, which led me to compose uh, m- more dramatic music and more melodic, but not that aggressive. So in a way, yes, the lyric had to fit the music, and for some songs, the lyric pre-existed and the music came afterwards. But after the first record, the last two records, the case is that we first compose the music and then I adapt to lyrics according to what the what the song creates inside of me. And um, actually, I always have subjects that I want to talk about, and when I listen to the songs, uh, then I match the music with the lyrical concepts I have already, in my books, for example. So on the last two albums, the music, the lyrics followed the music.
Yeah. Do you like to leave the music open to interpretation of lyrics, or do you try to engage the listener into a story or an idea as much as the music itself?
I'm not writing direct lyrics. I'm using more a metaphorical way of writing, and uh, it's probably because I don't think that it fits with what we play. For example, if we were playing thrash metal, I would write direct lyrics. So many times the lyrics that I'm writing, they're open to interpretations from each person. It's not always easy to I want to talk about. And to be honest with you, I do that on purpose. Um, so I don't have a problem with people having their own interpretation, but obviously I have something certain in my mind, and what I'm talking about is always about how I feel and about specific problems, if you want, because I write usually about the negative stuff that happened to my life. So I know what I'm talking about. I don't want everyone to understand it directly, but if they ask me, I always explain what I'm saying to them.
Yeah.
But it's nice to leave the lyrics open to interpretations. I'm not against that.
Definitely, definitely. I think you have the best of both worlds. I think the music is engaging enough to the point where a listener's going to want to know what was going through your mind when you wrote this material.
Thank you.
Mm. And does the inspiration for lyrics or even just the music in general come out of nowhere sometimes, or do you almost have like a usual method or a usual place that you go to in order to like get the creativity to flow through?
Um, I'm writing about everyday life, and I'm writing about things that concern me and things that make me angry. So unfortunately, life today has many cases, and stories to give you. So what is happening is that when I'm finishing one album, I always take notes about stuff that are happening and I want to write about. And when the time comes, I choose the ones that they are the stronger and the ones that I feel that I have to say more than just one sentence. So it's something that all the topics derive from our experiences in life, things that are happening in front of us, but also things that you see on TV. For example, uh, when you see the violence of the police that is happening both here in Greece and America and other countries. This is a thing that for me, is a very sensitive issue, and I could write about it. For example, I don't have something to write right now, but this is a thing that makes me angry, and I just have to take it out of my chest. In a way, when I write lyrics, what is happening basically is that I'm trying to keep a balance and to keep my mental state in a good level, because sometimes you feel so angry that you want to react in a more extreme way than you should. So instead of doing that, I'm just writing lyrics, and when the time comes to play live, I just scream my lungs out and blowing some steam off, if you want.
Well, that it's funny you mentioned that because it almost seems like art is meant to be a release and a way to express anger or disdain or anxiety in a healthy way. But like there is, whether it is through experience or through research, there is always like you have to surround yourself with negativity, which is not good for you either. So it almost seems like you have to torture yourself in order to heal yourself.
Yeah, it's true, and that's the thing, that it's not nice, the fact that I always write about things that are torturing me or something, but these are the things that I don't know brings me the most inspiration to write music. Obviously, my life is not just about these issues. It's not dark completely. I'm not always negative, and I'm not always angry. I don't complain about my personal life. I have my family, I have my kids. Everything is okay. But you're not gonna write a song for your band, especially if you are into a metal band, about your how happy you are with your kids, for example, or with your wife. You know what I mean?
That could be a new thing, though. That could be a trend.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
Happy metal.
yeah. I mean, it was a trend in the '80s, and so Cinderella and Poison. I mean, they're singing about fun things. Sure, there's a lot of gluttony involved, but
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
so happy core or life metal.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Christian metal.
Yeah. Hey, there's some great Christian metal bands too. Like Skillet
Of course,
is
of course.
amazing and Red is amazing. So, who knows? The
Yeah,
sky's the limit.
I used to listen to some as well. There was an American band called Believer back in the late '80s. I don't know if you know them. They signed to Roadrunner, and they released a couple of very, very nice albums. Not many people knew about them.
I'll check them out.
Also, another one called Savior Machine. I don't know if you know Savior Machine.
I've heard of them. You would like the band since you like metalcore and like alternative. You should look up. They're not around anymore, I don't think, but a band called Disciple.
Disciple. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check them out for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, they're a really good Christian band. And you're ready for? I have two more questions for you. You ready for the most difficult
Sure.
question?
Of course, should
How do you
should
know?
me.
How do you know when a song is done?
As music wise or lyric wise? What do you think?
All
What do you mean?
the whole thing. The whole thing.
Um, we are a very democratic band, so when one of us is bringing ideas to the table and we just add things, we reach a level more or less that we all feel that the song is ready. But you have to know that the most difficult part of a band is to say when a song is ready, because there's no way five people will agree 100% on such a thing. And there are many conflicts are happening, during that period. I don't know. For me, it's just a feeling, that I have, and I just I don't know. It's a gut feeling, really.
Yeah. And the final question I wanted to ask you is I love talking with metal bands from Greece. I mean, I was an art history major in college, so like I was obsessed with how the bedrocks of philosophy came from Greece and through all the original arts and so much. But there's so many great metal bands that come from Greece as well. I mean, there's Satyricon, Septic Flesh. I just recently interviewed the band Nightfall. That's really good. Is there like an active metal scene in Greece? Like, is there a usual hub where all the metalheads sort of like gather together? Are you based out of Athens right now, or?
Yes, yes, yes. I am. First of all, I have to tell you that for the last 6 years, I'm the sound engineer of Septic Flesh.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Both front of house touring and sound engineer, but also in studio.
Were you with them on the tour that they did with Ein Sephirim in 2019? Because I interviewed them at that
Yes.
tour. Oh, I'm surprised I didn't meet you there.
I mixed them live.
Yeah, okay, I'm surprised I didn't meet you there.
Yeah,
Small world.
I was there for the last two U.S. tours, the one with Dark Funeral and the one with Ensiferum.
Okay, I was at both of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mixed both shows
Oh,
then.
great times.
Yeah, and I recorded the last two albums as well of
Oh,
Septic
sweet.
Flesh. We have a very active scene in Greece, to be honest. There are many bands, and there are many places to play live, and bars to go out and have a drink, and listen to metal. And actually even different kinds of metal, not just, you're going to go to that bar and you're going to listen to, I don't know, traditional metal, power metal, and then you're going to go to the other one and you're going to listen to more mainstream metal, things like that. The problem with the Greek scene is that big labels, don't sign Greek bands that easily. Um, you know, the main metal bands in Europe, the main metal companies in Europe are based in Germany, and then you have the American labels. Now, the American labels, sign more American bands, and Central European labels sign more Central European and Northern European bands. So for some reason, it is very hard for a Greek band, or not just Greek, but even Italian, Spanish, Portuguese. It's very hard to find a proper deal with a big label. So that's the reason why most of the bands we have, they just stay in a local level. It's not easy for them to go out and tour because it's too expensive. And they just release albums, whenever, because they just love releasing albums. But that doesn't mean that we have many bands that they could actually do that. To give you an idea, we are just the 9th band that signed a contract with such a label, Napalm Records. Just the 9th throughout all the years. I can assure you that there are like at least 3 times bands that they could do that, and have the level to do that.
Yeah.
But it's, as I said to you, it's very hard to sign a contract. Most labels, when they see a CD coming from or an album coming from Greece, they just directly discard it. They throw it to the garbage bin. It's not nice. I understand them though, because so many submissions on the other hand, and they feel that the bands from that region, they have a bigger access to bigger markets, because Greece is a small market. You know what I mean?
Well, in America, though, European music in general is just put up on a pedestal. It doesn't matter if the band sounds like Meshuggah or if the band sounds like Nickelback. I mean, in the end, just in America, European music is just put on such a pedestal. So I've noticed that a lot of European bands sign to American labels.
Yeah, but the vast percentage of the bands that are European, they sign to European labels, and I say that to you from my own experience as well. We got in touch with many labels in the past in America, and the main problem was that we are not from over there, because an American label wants the bands to be able to tour the States, and the expenses for a European band to go to tour the States, they're very big.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I would go to tour to the States tomorrow if it was possible. But the expenses are huge, and it's a dream for us to come over and tour the States.
It's a dream for you to come here and play the States, and I really hope it can happen. Is there just anything else that
this is a huge honor, man.
Thank you. It's an honor to speak to you. Is there just anything else that you would like to promote with Scar of the Sun, with with the release of this album, anything you would like to plug or any shout outs you'd like to give?
First of all, I wish everyone over there to stay safe during these very difficult times. I see that things are getting better, and the concerts are getting back to our everyday life. I would just like to say that our new album is coming out on May 14th by Napalm Records. We already have 2 singles out. I think that the videos are very nice, especially Inertia is a very impressive video, if you ask me. Uh, I would I would ask people to just check out our music on YouTube, and then if they like what they listen, maybe they could dig deeper in order to check out the whole album or more stuff. Other than that, as I said to you, I really hope whenever tours will resume, I really hope that we will be able to get over there and tour the States as much as possible.
And we look forward to that day. It'll definitely be worth the wait. But thank you so much, Terry.
Thanks, man.
Everybody, Scar of the Sun, Inertia, coming out via Napalm Records May 14th. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time.